It's 5:55 and 55 seconds. Turn on your headlights. It's time for Night Drive. Good evening and welcome to Night Drive. I am your host, Horace Wexler. It's late and I am feeling great in this little slice of paradise. Someone who's not feeling great tonight, though, best-selling author Dan Brown, crushed to death by a rudimentary copy of that famous Louvre pyramid during the Fakahatchee Mayor's Day Parade. Now, if you listen to the show, I've always said you should try everything at least once, but in this small case, I highly suggest you skip seeing someone squeezed to the point of bursting by a large glass pyramid. It's sad. It's really sad to see a popular author end up as just another statistic in the body count of the ongoing conflict between geriatric gangs. I'm speaking, of course, about the 8th Street Dust Kings and the T-Ball Walkers. Their rivalry has continued to spill into and threaten the public at large. And I think we have to ask ourselves, who is responsible for this chaos? Sure, okay. In some ways, it is the fault of the greatest generation. Their brains addled by war, the low cost of erectile dysfunction pills, and the chemicals in government cheese. But there seems to be a real lack of law and order here in Fakahatchee, and not just because we lost our NBC affiliate. I put to you that our Sher-Iff Bud Nichols, is unable to meet the demands of his position. I think you'll agree. We have a unique set of challenges here in Fakahatchee, and we shouldn't expect anyone who runs for office to necessarily be able to meet or rise to that level of office and be effective solely because they hold it. Now, I like Bud very much. You ask around town, everybody's going to tell you Bud Nichols, great guy, great man, top tier fella, unbelievable cornhole competitor, keeps a well-trimmed lawn and grills up a pretty decent rack of ribs. Maybe they mention his performance in last year's bowling tournament. But if you ask about Sher-Iff Bud Nichols, I can't imagine you're going to get the same good feels. Under Sher-Iff Bud Nichols' watchful eye, we've lost law-abiding teens, grandparents, a family-owned grocery store, a world-class, pretty decent author, and apparently 3/4 of a human man that once belonged to a leg. Now, at some point, we have to say, enough is enough. And where is that point? That's what I'm asking you tonight. I want to hear what you have to say. So give me a call at 305-209-9686 and let me know what you think. Let's talk law and order right here in Fakahatchee. Sher-Iff Bud Nichols, should he stay or should he go? Now, I have to imagine anybody else could be doing this at a bare minimum. And if it's a resources issue, why is this not being discussed with the mayor or city council to apply additional resources? I mean, it's proper chaos out there, friends. And my producer just wrote Mayo on a piece. What? Oh, I see. My producer has written mayor murder, which I had forgotten, still remains unsolved. Former Mayor Luis Vamonos' murder still remains unsolved. If it is a murder, though there is, some back and forth. In fact, the only notable arrest the sheriff has made to my mind is the Lobster King, who sits in jail, and he barely harmed anyone. In fact, most people would like to see LK's sentence reduced, I think, but that's neither here or there. All right, our boards are all lit up, each little lighted beacon signaling an opinion I want to hear. So tell me what you think. Sher-Iff Bud Nichols, should he stay or should he go?
Hi, Horace. My name is Pumpkin Jones.
Hey, Pumpkin. Thanks for calling in.
How can we get rid of Sher-Iff Bud Nichols? He has been a mainstay in this town. We need him.
Well, I
don't like change.
Well, I completely disagree. What about the Trailblazers?
I don't care what, but so one of the Trailblazers died. So what? There's plenty more kids out there. And how can we blame Bud Nichols for that? It doesn't seem fair to me. Sure, these kids weren't qualified for the job. Sure, he put them in dangerous situations that he was probably aware of. But if we change, won't we just get someone exactly the same? Like, I don't see the benefit.
Well,
he has to stay, not just because he's my friend.
Well, all right, Pumpkin. I'm going to count that as a keep, even though you sound very biased. All right, let's go to another call. All right, let's see who we've got over here on line 1.
Hey, Horace.
Well, hey there.
My name's Monty Poobell.
How are you, Monty?
I think that, I'm good. I'm fine. I just wanted to weigh in on the sheriff.
Great. What are you thinking?
Well, I know he's pretty ineffectual, but I'd like to say that he looks great in the uniform.
Huh.
And that's not me crushing on the sheriff, you know. Let me paint a picture for you, Horace.
Okay.
How many times have you gone up to St. Petersburg or any other town that's got a Ronnie J's surf shop and you see the sheriff there and you think to yourself, I could take this weak-legged fella. Or fellas. No offense to the lady sheriffs, either or. But I think that encourages crime when you see a weak sheriff. It's an invitation. Because in my head, I'm like, I could punch this sheriff in the back of the head. Or go over to that International House of Pancakes and dine and dash. Now, that sheriff, that weak-looking sheriff, could catch me. They could be an excellent lawman. Or lawmaness. No offense to the lady lawman. Well, Horace, I just think there's something to be said for a stout-legged man in uniform. How many crimes Sheriff Bud stopping prematurely that we don't know about? Solely because he looks like he'd be an excellent lawman.
Well, I guess there's no way to really know, is there?
That's what I'm saying. If we recall the sheriff, what are the odds we get a better-looking sheriff? And I don't mean a more handsome sheriff. I mean a sheriff that looks more sheriffy overall.
I don't know that I can answer that, Monty.
Well, I think I can. Worse. I think getting rid of this sheriff, big mistake. Grande mistake-o. We should probably, if we're being honest, make a statue of this sheriff.
Whoa,
hang on, Horace. Let me talk. You talk for like an hour. So just
fine.
Rest your mouth for half a moment. Just, I'm going somewhere.
Fine.
Statue of the sheriff. Not because he's a really good sheriff, but because we could probably trick people who don't know him into thinking Fakahatchee's got a 10-foot-tall sheriff.
I think that would probably only trick 10% of most modern criminals.
But that's still a 10% decrease in crime. Just for putting a big version of his stout legs up there in stone. Or bronze, or whatever. Maybe that Pashitano guy can do it for us.
Pashitano Fallopian. I think he only works in obelisks, not statues. I don't know, but, maybe.
Well, look, I'm just spitballing. Someone else would figure it out. Anyway, Sheriff, I say keep him. Have a good one, Horace.
All right. Well, thank you, Monty, for calling in. If you want to call in and share your thoughts on Sheriff Bud Nichols, that number is 305-209-9686. You're listening to Night Drive.
With summer fast approaching, nothing could be more refreshing than a glass of ice-cold cucumber water, or a tomato and cucumber salad for a light and crispy snack to hit the spot on a warm summer day. Here at Robichaux Farms, that's something we know all too well. From planting the first seed to the last day of harvest, all we do is think about how to make our delicious cucumbers better. That's why we're proud to offer the Robichaux Farm Guarantee. When you pick up one of our crisp green cucumbers, you can know for certain it has never been inside a human asshole. That's not just a promise, that's a creed we live by. We know it makes us a little weird, a little unusual, but call us crazy, that's what we would want if we were buying a cucumber. Personally, I don't know why our competitors can't make the same promise, but we're not them. Maybe we're just silly country folk who think all cucumbers should be virgins, but we think you'll like the way they taste. Robichaux Farms. The guarantee does not apply to our carrots.
All right, we're back. Let's get right into it. Let's go over here to line 2. Go ahead, line 2.
Hello, it's Richard Baysbahn.
Hey, Richard, how are you this evening?
I am good. I wanted to call in because I heard that you were talking about the sheriff.
Yeah, I think the question hanging over everyone's mind is, should he go? There's a slew of different events that I feel like the sheriff should have responded to differently.
Yeah, yes, and Bud is a good friend, and I want to be clear that I am not trying to push him out of his earned office and his earned spot in life, but I think he should be pushed out of his office. And I don't have the ability to do that. That's up to the voters to recall the sheriff as we do elect them, which is very strange to me. But we do need to get it on the ballot, and I am happy to introduce it into city council. But just want to make sure the population of Fakahatchee is behind me on this.
Right. It sounds like you don't think the sheriff is handling things too well lately. Is that correct?
Well, yeah. Well, there are a number of unsolved incidents, specifically murders, which are probably the worst type of incident that one could imagine. And unfortunately, a lot of it might reflect poorly on me, given that I did, give the go ahead on the sheriff's program with those young interns.
Right. The sheriff's trailblazers.
Yes, the trailblazers. That was a rough string of 12 consecutive days of funerals that I do not appreciate and don't want to relive ever again.
Right.
So these things have been weighing heavily on my mind with regards to Bud and his work in the role of sheriff. And again, good friend, nice guy. And I don't want him to lose his job in so much as I just want him to not be the sheriff job anymore, if that makes sense.
Right. I think for a lot of people, we're going to have to separate Bud Nichols, the man, from Sheriff Bud Nichols, the sheriff. Obviously, Bud Nichols, great on a personal level, makes a nice rack of ribs.
Oh, to die for, fall right off the boat.
Yeah, helps
right
at the pancake breakfast. All around, great guy. Seems to be a really ineffectual sheriff.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. You talked a little bit about the Trailblazers. So the city council approved and funded that initiative, or?
Well, yeah, yes, I do want to be clear. It was the city council as a whole, not just old Dick Baysbahn by himself. But yes, I did vote for that. The sheriff needed more resources to help him, and we had some very eager young bucks who wanted to get into the law enforcement game. Unfortunately, they all fell victim, to the gentleman on the loose.
Hot Sauce Man, yeah.
Hot Sauce Man, yes. I didn't want to say his name, but yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's all right. I just don't want anybody to be afraid, especially, right now you're listening to this, it's the middle of the night. If you're alone, you might be scared, but there's no reason to be scared. It seems like Hot Sauce Man is targeting very specific people. In the case of the Trailblazers, he was worried they might solve the case.
Interesting.
So I don't want people to be upset or scared.
Well, you bring up an interesting point about the Hot Sauce Man perhaps targeting specific individuals. I know the first victim of Hot Sauce Man, suspected victim found behind Baysbahn Mercantile. Was that a message to you? Are you tied to Hot Sauce Man in some way?
I should say no. That is what we call in the business a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Baysbahn Mercantile being in such a central location, assuming this is the work of Hot Sauce Man, which, like you said, alleged. We don't know if that victim was tied to that Hot Sauce Man at all or not, but
just that it was somebody covered with hot sauce and dead.
Yes, could be 100% coincidence. Imagine you have a serial killer mindset, but you don't have a brand yet, right? You're watching TV. Some gentleman freaked out, killed somebody, covered him with hot sauce, and you say, that's it. Look at the coverage. I can go ahead and just take that and run with it.
Right.
It's entirely possible. I'm just saying it's entirily possible.
I mean, the real horrible crime there is the plagiarism. I mean, obviously, the murder's not great, but I mean, be original, be yourself.
Copycat killers are a thing. They made a whole documentary about it with Harry Connick Jr.
Got it. I didn't see it. I like it when he sings. I don't like it when he acts.
Oh, he's actually a fantastic actor.
Or when he hosts. I don't like when he hosts either.
Look, I don't want to get into a long, drawn-out debate about Harry Connick because he is one of my favorite performers of all time.
Yeah, performers, but like not hosts. How often are you tuning into Harry?
Oh, he's a quadruple threat.
What is the fourth threat?
He was on Celebrity Jeopardy and he just cleaned house.
Oh,
very, very smart man.
Oh,
very smart man.
Okay.
Anyway, all that aside, that the first victim, who may or may not be the first victim of Hot Sauce Man, could be unrelated. So it's hard to say if Hot Sauce Man is sending a message to me or not. I think the larger message is, why is Hot Sauce Man not targeted Sheriff Bud? And I think it's pretty clear that Hot Sauce Man wants Bud in this position because he has had success with his killings and a lot of success with getting away with his killings.
So you think Hot Sauce Man would vote to keep the sheriff?
I think he probably would. And, not to reveal too much of our investigative tactics, but if we could somehow have a public vote on it and see who voted to keep him, I think we would narrow down the pool quite a bit of who the killers might be. But of course, it's a secret vote. We can't have a public vote. Secret votes.
I mean, that's the whole point of democracy, is everybody votes. And actually, is that a cornerstone of democracy?
It is. Justice is blind and blind voting. And
I thought we just did that to make the handicapped feel better.
No. It's a figure of speech.
Got it.
Has to do with them not knowing certain things. But speaking of which, it does bring up that it's that time of year again to start thinking about re-election, unfortunately.
Right. You're running for re-election again this year.
That's correct. Yeah.
Got it.
It's been my sole pleasure to serve Fakahatchee in the position I have, and I hope that people will choose to continue to let me serve. And if we can get the recall initiative on the same ballot for Sheriff Bud, that would just be a great way to kill two birds with one hot sauce stone, as it were.
Richard, I have to ask, are you feeling up to another re-election campaign, like because your doctor signed off on this? Okay,
look, I know I've had my share of health troubles in the past, and that one incident where I lied about health troubles to whip up some pity votes, but I am fit as a fiddle. Mm-hmm. There's nothing that's preventing me from entering this race and running with full, clear physical health.
Got it.
Other than the death of my dog, which has, greatly upset me and something I think about constantly. I'm sorry. I just need a minute.
Take all the time you need, please.
Yeah. Poocher was a French bulldog that I think there are pictures on the city council website. He occasionally came to work with me, and he just passed away. So I am in a little bit of a weaker mental state.
Right. French bulldogs is so cute in general.
Yeah. In fact, I'm I might be ready to love again soon. Just kind of depends on the schedule. If I'm elected to city council again, then I feel like I might be able to adopt another beautiful little Frenchie and move forward. But if not, I guess I could sit at home and kind of sit in the silence.
Right.
Without him there. That's something I could do if I'm not elected.
Home just feels more full with a dog.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. Okay.
Richard, I'm going to ask you one more question before I let you go to grieve. Sure. I want to make sure I give you space for that and sort of respect your feelings during this time. Do you have any idea what's going on at the Shoney's? Will we ever be able to brunch there again?
Right. Well, unfortunately, I was following up a lead that I had, and it did not pan out. So unfortunately, it turned out to be sort of a waste of a couple weeks. Mm-hmm. But I do have a cousin who claimed to be connected with the Joint Chiefs of staff for the Army. And I put in a word, asked my cousin to kind of follow up on that. And then, as it turns out, he was talking about a joint chief. That's what he calls his weed dealer. Uh-huh. And so I was completely, I misheard him at the Thanksgiving dinner table. That's probably on me, but I thought it was a good idea to try to follow up with that and maybe go straight to the source. So that kind of ended up in a dead end, and I wasn't able to get any more information about the the Army presence over at the Shawnee. So unfortunately, no, I don't have an update right now for that.
Right. Well, that's too bad. I do hope that somebody figures out what's going on over there at some point. I miss my eggs. Yeah,
they're second to none. I don't want to say this. I don't know what this implies about me, but I love to put hot sauce on my eggs, and I'm just going to say that.
Look, a lot of people do. That doesn't make you hot sauce, man.
I was about to say it, and I was like, oh, no, he's going to think I'm the hot sauce killer. It's not the case, obviously.
Well, Richard, thank you so much for joining us tonight, even in your fragile state after losing Pooch here. I'm certainly sorry to hear about that, and I'm sure most of our audience is as well.
I hope I can just throw myself into my work after Election Day and forget about all of it.
Right. How did Poocher go?
It was a bowel obstruction.
Oh, gosh, you know about that so well.
Yeah.
What was it? I want to say like 2014, 2015. You suffered from a similar issue.
Yeah, and both from the same reason, from eating a pine cone. So it's doubly tragic that he went, from the same ailment that I had as well. Yeah.
Tragic. Well, Richard, thank you so much. We'll get back to more of your calls and your opinions in just a minute, but let's take a few moments for some Fakahatchee community announcements. Okay, just a few announcements here this week. The Fakahatchee Owls would like to apologize for their parade float that has come to be known as the Wad. We are working to clear the Wad, but now that the sun has shone on the wet toilet paper of the float, it has become like cement. Later this week, we will be reattempting removal alongside a small squad of high school janitors armed with scrapers. In the meantime, please take a detour around Francisco Street unless you're headed to the Spanktuary, as there is no way for traffic to get through on Francisco Street. That's good info. I'm sure most people know that already, and I sure will be glad to see the Wad get cleared out of there. It's causing quite a backup. The Fakahatchee Mustache Men are meeting up this Thursday from 7 to 9 to do activities. If you like activities and you have a mustache, please join us for said activities. Your mustache will show you the way. Please, no beards. Mustache wax will be provided. The Fork Appreciation Society will be hosting one of their monthly luncheons at the Sandwedge. The public is encouraged to drop by for a low-quality sandwich and a fascinating presentation on Tynewith of the 1980s. Everyone is welcome, and no question will go unexplored, unanalyzed, or unanswered. That's this coming Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. And that is your Fakahatchee community announcements, Fakahatchee. All right, let's get back to your calls and opinions right now. Maybe you need that phone number one more time to call in. Just one more time, it's 305-209-9686. Give me a call. I want to hear what you have to say. Let's go over here to line 6. Line 6, go ahead.
Well, hello, my son. It is your good friend, Father Jonah Likely. How are you, Horace?
Father, how are you? It is so good to hear your voice. The last time I think we spoke to you, you were headed in to deal with a whole mess of alligators.
Yes, I was on a holy quest, and, as most things in the Bible, things got a little messy.
Yeah.
A little messy.
Are you calling from the hospital now, Father?
Yes, I am. It's not a terribly sexy hospital, but they're mending Father Jonah quite well. I've got about 60% of feeling back, which is 60% more than I had when I came in here.
Right, yeah. For those who may have missed your call previously, in the middle of the great alligator orgy, mating season for the alligators, they swarmed the Spanktuary.
Yes.
Filled it to the brim with alligators, and you were headed in, stop me if I'm wrong, completely nude, covered in oil, with a staff to deal with them.
Yes, anointed as what I interpreted the Lord's wishes to be.
Right.
Anointed in man's flesh, man's oil, holding my man's staff. I got to say, Horace, I went in there with all the confidence of a holy man. It was humbling. It was a humbling experience, being thrashed about by these ancient dinosaurs in heat.
Mm-hmm.
I came out of it with a lot more blood loss than usual.
Right. Paint a picture for us. You walk in, naked as the day God made you.
Yes.
What happens?
Well, at first glance, everything seemed to be going as I expected it to. The alligators took notice of my form. They drank me in. I could tell, looking deep into the slits of their eyes, that they were impressed. I thought it would just be a moment of connection, and they would simply leave in peace.
Right, just from looking them in the eyes, like not yelling or poking them with the sticks, like
no,
just sort of an eye, like you looking directly at them, and they would know, they would get the message.
Yes. The staff was not for poking or sticking or even intimidation. Really, it was just to let them know that the man with the staff is the alpha, is the man with the plan, God's plan. But turns out they didn't really care too much for the staff. I guess the mission just hasn't quite reached the gator community. Before I knew it, I was knee deep in alligator mouths.
Right.
Thank goodness for the oil, because I was so slick, and they kept trying to grab me and trying to hug me really hard.
Yeah, with their mouth hugs.
Slipping. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very powerful mouths. I don't know if you know that.
Strong jaws. Yeah.
Strong. Yeah, it was a real David and Goliath situation. If David were glistening and there were many Goliaths.
Right.
Nonetheless, as I was, in the midst of these horny reptiles, I thought to myself, well, this is it. I'm ready to meet my creator. This is the way I was supposed to go, and I was totally resigned to that. But then something incredible happened, Horace.
Please go on.
I looked up, and we just had the stage lighting from the show previous week. A lot of purples and blue gels, things of that sort. Holy colors.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked up to them, and the light got brighter and brighter, and then that's when I saw it. This form of a holy serpent, and it looked me in the eyes, and it just said, "Shh." And that's when I knew I had to trust in the holy snake to help me slither out of this horrible circumstance I found myself in, and so I just started gyrating and sort of, just things that I've seen on the stage. I don't perform personally. I do my sermons and things, but I keep an eye on what's happening and the artistry of these amazing performers that I have at Spanktuary. And before I knew it, I had slipped and slithered my way out of that horrible reptilian cacophony. And now I find myself here with a fresh perspective, a new life, and in a new mission to serve the Holy Serpent.
Right. So you wiggled and slithered out of the Spanktuary, using some of the moves of Sister Chastity. I think she was the one that used to get down on the ground and gyrate.
Yes.
And then you woke up in the hospital.
I did. Apparently, I left a long, oily, bloody trail halfway to the medical services before I was found. And thank the Lord, Serpent is good, because I'm here to tell the tale and spread the word of the tale, the snake's tale, if you don't mind a holy man's pun.
You speak of the holy snake. Is this a different god? Is this the same god? Is it?
Oh yeah, no, I believe it. It is. I believe the serpent is God and always was God. You look back through the scriptures, and naturally the most famous snake, people would point to as Satan. Morning star, as we men of the cloth refer to. I think that perhaps the entire spiritual community is in fact snakes. That we are all created in the image of the snake, but maybe somewhere down the line, a monkey got involved and it got a little muddled. That's not serpent God's fault. That's just human flaws. But I think if you look at the serpent, you will see a holy form. You will see a plan that we should all follow and live by to have a better life here on this planet. Just live like the snake.
I guess my next question is, how do you live like the snake? Or have you figured that out yet?
Well, I have been praying on it a lot. I've had a lot of time to pray because I am simply in this bed, unable to move much. But luckily, it is a horizontal position, which is generally the position of the snake. So that does give me a bit of a conduit to speak to the spiritual snake father. I think what the snake father has been telling me is you got to listen to your senses. I feel like as humans are constantly ignoring our senses. We stick out our tongue to possible knowledge we can gain from our senses. Whereas the snake uses its tongue as a sensory, device to determine its environment, and it interprets it that way and then acts accordingly. We are just blind. Our tongues are blind, Horace, and it's time to open our tongues to the truth. Mm-hmm. That we're constantly being given signals as to how to live a holier life and what the spiritual war it actually is that's happening all around us. We just have to sense it. That's what I have to tell your viewers. Let's take our tongues out and really sense what's going on here.
Right. Well, how does this change as sort of the messages that maybe we've all learned or grown up with? God is love. What is it? The golden rule. Love thy neighbor.
Sure.
Do those change in any way, or are all those pretty similar to what we're familiar with?
I think there certainly is crossover. We just got to get rid of the contamination, the human contamination. The golden rule is wonderful. Treat others the way that we wish to be treated. That is great. But I do think it leaves out a small element of, if we're all stuck in a small space together, let's just knot ourselves together physically. Let us be linked and never torn asunder. Just a big knot of flesh.
Interesting. I want to get back to the main topic of tonight's show in just a minute, but I have noticed that the Spanktuary has been closed more often than not recently. Is that due to you being in the hospital or other reasons?
Yes, I mean, clearly the sheep are lost without their shepherd, and I am not there to cleanse people of their sins or even deliver the chicken wings, which I did do on occasion. I am a pious man, but there's nothing beneath me. I'm happy to serve.
Yeah, when you get short staffed, you got to make sure the wings go out to the parishioners.
Of course. But there are other parishes in the city that have really taken up the mantle that the Spanktuary once held in such high regard. There are a lot of wonderful pastors doing really great work. Their happy hour specials are not as good, but we won't fault them for that, will we?
No, of course not.
No.
How do they compare? I mean, the Spanktuary was Florida's sexiest church at least 5 years running.
It is disheartening to see us lose that title, which we...
you guys lost it. I hadn't heard about that.
Yes, sorry. Wasn't expecting you to open this wound. Yes, we unfortunately did lose the title due to the Gators consuming the judge. But unfortunately, he was able to write down this church, definitely not the sexiest, before he was devoured.
Oh, man.
So, yes. Yeah. Unfortunately, we have lost that. But that's okay, because whenever I come back, I will come back even more pious and more dedicated to our mission. And I guarantee you, we're going to have a lot more snakes in the show.
Oh, okay.
And while snakes are the holiest of creatures, as we've discussed, they also happen to be the sexiest. So I feel confident that we will return as the sexiest church.
All right. Father, real quick before I let you go for this evening, I know you got a lot of recuperating you got to do. We're talking Sheriff Bud Nichols. What do you think? Should we keep him around as sheriff?
Look, I've known Sheriff Nichols for a long time. He's come to our church every week for years. And I know that while he may be a flawed man, deep down, he really is a wonderful snake. And I think that we just need to stand by our officer, just as the Lord stood by, all of his creation, and just let him slither the way that God wants him to slither.
Right.
Well,
go ahead, Father.
Sorry, I just well, morphine got squeezed there, and I lost my train of thought.
Well, I was going to say, Father, do you think maybe this is a case where we should force Sheriff Bud Nichols to shed his skin as sheriff, and essentially Bud Nichols could approach the world and whatever new skin comes up underneath that?
Well, I believe if he were to shed his sheriff skin, he would only reveal a shinier new sheriff skin underneath. So I guess by that account, sure, let him shed, and then maybe he'll just be a better sheriff. Does that make sense, Snake God? Yeah, he says that makes sense.
Oh, well, all right. I'm
sorry. He said it makes sense.
Of course he does. Father, we're going to let you go. You're always welcome to call back in, and I hope you get the Spanktuary opened back up. Obviously, it's important to have a place of worship that people choose to go, and we hope that you feel better as well.
Oh, thank you so much, Horace. And, I would not mind if you came and visited poor Jonah Likely here at the hospital sometime. You got to get out of that booth once in a while.
I am absolutely deathly afraid of hospitals.
Oh, it'll be fine.
No,
you just come over. You can oil. Yeah, you can help me oil myself.
I'm good.
I'll read some scripture.
I'm worried they're going to take my organs, Father. But also keep one eye open at night just to make sure that the nurses don't come in and borrow anything for other patients.
Oh no, yeah, I don't close my eyes anymore at all. I've actually grown a new translucent eyelid, much like our snake father. So don't worry about that.
Right. Well, I feel like there's a lot of details there that we could dig into, but I really want to get back to talking about the sheriff tonight, so we'll touch on that in the future. Thanks so much,
Next
Father.
time, Horace.
Go ahead, line 4. Who am I speaking with?
Well, hello, Horace. This is Plinth Forsyth of the Fakahatchee Museum and Historical Society.
Plinth, how are you?
Good. Really quite well.
What do you think of the sheriff?
Well, I know Sheriff Bud Nichols pretty well, actually, as he's always coming around when I call into the station.
You call the police a lot, Plinth?
No. That sounds like I'm constantly having emergencies. No, it's mostly about vandalism. Teens coming around and spray painting farts rule on the Historical Society barn, or taking shaving cream and writing, "How about a fart?" on the museum windows, things like that. It's no big deal, but it has led to me spending a lot of time with the sheriff. Sometimes that extends to the bowling alley.
Sheriff's a good bowler, I hear.
Yeah, he's pretty good. But I wouldn't feel right weighing in on whether he should be forced to dismiss his post.
Right. Well, I can understand the personal aspects to a question like that. I try to separate Sheriff Nichols from the man Bud Nichols, but why are you calling tonight then?
Oh, I thought it might be rather fun for your listeners to share some parade stats.
Statistics?
Yeah, parade statistics.
I don't know, Plinth. This sounds pretty...
No.
Are they going to be dry?
No, they're fascinating, riveting even.
Like to everyone or just to you?
Well, I suppose it's up to your audience to decide.
Oh, boy.
Here we go. So the first...
I can cut this off at any time, so just Plinth, lead with your A-level stuff.
Right. Okay. Maybe we skip the one about how many tank tops were at the parade.
Yep, skip.
1756, by the way.
Plinth.
That's 1700.
Yeah, that's going to be a skip.
Got it. Number of left-handed people wearing hats.
Plinth?
12.
How do you even record that? Are you making these up?
What? No, Horace. I'm an archivist. I have to capture and collect and preserve history. If I'm just making it up, chaos.
I mean,
chaos would reign.
Don't care.
Statistics are the fabric of society. We'd all turn into apes and climb back into the palm trees if it weren't for good, clear information gathering.
Okay, that's a bit hyperbolic. I want to move on though. So give me your best stat.
All right, try this one on for size. How about gained weight of on-site porta potties?
This is your A stuff.
I mean, it's all history, Horace.
What is that even recording? Gained weight?
Well, see, what you do here is you go out and you get the weight of all the porta potties before the parade. And then, after the parade's done, you measure it again.
Skip.
You sure?
Skip. Oh, yeah. Yeah,
6,200 pounds.
Plinth, 6,200. Is that a lot?
Well, it's 10% more than previous years, but we didn't have 10% more parade goers there to do their business at the parade.
Huh.
Right. See? I told you it was interesting. Quite a deviation, right? That's 10% more loads.
It's mildly interesting, but go ahead. Give me your best stat.
Yeah, that was my top stat.
Oh.
Boy, I really thought that one would get you stuck in, make you want to hear the rest.
Yeah, I think we're good, Plinth.
But, okay. The Fakahatchee Historical Society is always open if you want to drop by. Not like hours-wise, but in the general spirit of openness, and we're not too crowded neither. Plenty of room to see the exhibits and get your cues aid.
Excuse me?
Questions answered. I thought I'd put a hip spin on it.
Okay, we're going to move on.
Was it?
What's that?
Was it hip?
Oh, not really. Not really, Plinth.
See, I was thinking if I were a little more hip, maybe people would want to come on down to the Historical Society. No worries.
Okay.
I'll figure something out. I'll get you all in there someday.
Okay.
All right, buddy.
Okay.
Well, I think I'm going to go stare at the display about the trolley for 30, 40 minutes tonight before I go to bed. Insomnia, Horace.
Right. We're going to move on. We'll talk soon, Plinth.
Oh, okay. I'll talk to you later.
Some of you out there want to have your voices heard, but maybe you can't make it to a phone this evening to give us a ring and share your thoughts. I don't know the reason why you can't call us, but maybe you spent 9 months in the womb before being born without a mouth, or maybe you're eating a slice of key lime pie that you just can't turn away from. Well, whatever the reason, we've got you covered. You can just send us an email or tweet and we'll read it right here on air. Let me be your substitute mouth, not your stunt mouth. I don't want to be brought in when your mouth won't do what it needs to do. I'll step in if your mouth can't do its duty, but I'm not jumping in to take one for the mouth team. Got it? Janitha Ochoa emailed us to say, Horace, I think this guy's got to go. Should we keep Bud Nichols? Sher-Iff. We want the bad guys to get away. Seems to me a monkey could do his job. In fact, a monkey sheriff could be good for photo ops with tourists. Instead of the town going bananas, we could be giving bananas to our new ape enforcer. And yes, Horace, he would have a smart little uniform and a P365 micro-compact semi-auto handgun for blowing away bad guys. Ooh, well, Janitha, that's definitely an idea we can keep in our back pocket. I think my biggest initial thought on the subject is I worry that an ape sheriff with micro-celebrity status could encourage a form of crime tourism, where some of these offenders drive down from up north solely to get busted by our monkey sheriff for Instagram likes. But thanks for emailing. Rohingi Mopadenza tweeted at us at Night Drive FM to say, the sheriff cheated when he got that 280 in the bowling tournament. He didn't pick up the spare at all. The pin fell over when the ground rumbled. He's a cheat, Chet. I think that's also supposed to be cheat, but I read it like it's sent to me. All due respect, Rohinki, unless you can prove the sheriff caused the rumble somehow, I think that's just the breaks with the, whatever's going on at the Shoney's. I'm sure it's helped you out in 1 or 2 games. Heck, I got a strike on a frame during a particularly bad earth shake just last week, and you better believe I am counting it. But thanks for tweeting at us. Blund Grammarly also tweeted at us to say, let's recall the whole town, then vote in a new town, and we can all head off for somewhere cooler and less humid, and finally be done with this effing place. Well, Blund, you can leave at any time, buddy. You just have to head south to the roundabout and then go north from there, buddy. So I don't know why you gotta be such a pill about it. Though, with everything that's going on, maybe I don't blame you all that much. But thanks for tweeting at us. I'm going to count that as the sheriff should go. Priska Linthen sent us it's a picture of a foot with the word sheriff on it and crossed out. No tags besides @NightDriveFM Insta and no text. I honestly can't tell if this is the same foot they sent last time, but I suspect it is. It is a very average foot. I would not expect this foot to be photographed and sent to me, let alone anyone. Not that they should be ashamed, but I look at this foot and I'm just like, okay. It's just a real, whatever foot, you know? But obviously this foot thinks the sheriff should be recalled, and I have to say this foot and I are of the same mind, I think. All right, let's get back to your calls and opinions. Well, actually, we're going to do that in just a moment. We're going to take a break, and we will be right back with more of your thoughts right here on Night Drive, KFAK.
Every year, the amount of dead bodies we encounter goes up. Have you noticed this? A casual wander through the woods, looking inside a whale, a particularly helpful friend who wants to, quote, show you something cool. It's just simple statistics that Americans are seeing more dead bodies now than ever before. And many of those bodies are left eyes wide open, staring straight up at the sky. Sure, sometimes they're face down if they've fallen out of an airplane. It's none of my business how dead bodies get where they get. But for those face-up bodies, why should closing the corpse's eyelids fall to you? Do you want to? Have you been trained to? Why didn't the corpse just do it itself? If I touch the eyes, will they be all goopy? These are the questions that keep me up nights. But don't ask yourself these questions. Just ask, where's the number for OcuShot? Here at OcuShot, a TK Cuddles Cat Trash subsidiary, we like to say, there's two eyes in team. Unless, of course, there's an eye patch involved. Then we'll say something different. When you pick up the phone, a team of our certified OcuShot technicians will be there in less than 15 minutes to close both eyelids on the corpse or corpsette. Or just one eyelid if you want the corpse to look like it's winking at you from the other side. Frankly, that's your business, not the corpse's. And when that OcuShot team is done, they'll say, see what I did there? With a smile? They're doing it with a smile. They're going to remind you that they did it with a smile as they're smiling. That is the OcuShot guarantee. OcuShot by TK Cuddles. It's gross. Let us do it for you.
All right, we're back. Let's get right into it. Let's go over here to line 2. Go ahead, line 2.
Hey, guess who?
Is this Sheriff Bud Nichols?
No. Guess. You listen to the voice. Guess who?
It sounds a little bit like Jack Nicholson, but I don't think he would be listening to Night Drive. I mean, maybe if he's like going through Florida.
No, what? No, you don't recognize? Oh, it's me, man. It's the hot sauce man.
Oh, okay. Now you're like trying to juice it up a little bit at the front of that.
No, I feel like the last couple of times I've called in, I feel like that's kind of become, like my go-to, my moniker, if you will.
Right.
Kind of a guess who, like that kind of. Like you didn't get that.
It's just tough because everyone expects me to recognize them, but like sometimes people call in, they haven't talked all day, so like their voice is all phlegmy, so everyone sounds different.
Now I just feel bad for you because like people should prepare before they speak in a public forum. Like, no, I have been doing voice exercises for quite a while because we're hot sauce man. Like, you want to make sure that people know. Like,
right.
Why am I killing all these people if I'm not trying to make a name for myself? So I feel like you got to have some sort of brand recognition. So
so it's like a branding exercise.
Exactly. So now and then, we're gonna have like kids in high schools like, oh, guess who? They're like, oh, you're doing hot sauce, man. That's great. I should buy a T-shirt.
Are there T-shirts? Like, where are you selling those?
I have a few designs in place, but I'm not an artist. So like right now, it's really just a series of stick figures and then a lot of crayon red blood. I don't know if it's anything that you'd necessarily want to purchase. Although, if I have a knife to your neck, you might be more inclined.
Are you drawing crime scenes or just murders in general?
I've been doing like landscapes.
Oh.
And then I'll add certain kind of fantasy murders. Stuff that you kind of hope to aspire to. It's a bit like like a vision board. So like these are things that I'm planning on doing or would like to do one day when I have enough of the equipment and things like that.
Right.
So it's just, but life gets away from you. You one day you're shopping and then you make all these big plans and then you think to yourself, oh, now I got to build a bigger cellar in the basement to hold all these bodies, and it becomes a whole thing.
What's one of your designs? Can you share one of those or?
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. I'm a big fan of Ansel Adams. So I've got it's a kind of Yosemite inspired, and it's just beautiful mountain peaks. And then it's me kind of with a jovial wave and a smile. And I've just kicked somebody off of the edge of the cliff, and they're kind of like in mid falling. They're terrified, but they're still given a polite wave, as they realize they're part of the scene as well. So it's just that's one of the ones I have going. And then there's a few other I've got tacked up. Wood chipper is on there, of course, because it's a classic. And then I've got one of the kids drowning in my hot sauce van, some of the trailblazers. I was really proud of that. I thought that was one that pat myself on the serial killer back for that one.
Right. Did you draw that before you did it, or is that one that you're like, oh, I can kind of draw this from memory after the fact?
When inspiration hits, then you just have to follow it. And so, no, I did it first and then remember, that would be a good one. And then I was just going for my mind's eye, and I took some artistic license on that one. But, we got there, and it was a good time. It was a lot of fun.
Well, I'd love to talk to you more about your drawings, but the show tonight is about Sheriff Bud Nichols. Should he stay or should he go? How do you feel about this, Hot Sauce Man? Should we let the sheriff go, or should we recall him? I imagine you have a unique perspective on this.
Sure. I mean, if you're here to ask me flat out, is Sheriff Bud Nichols, inept? Yes, 100% he is. I have been able to flourish as a serial killer in this town, and he has not even gotten close to catching me. I mean, Fakahatchee is not a large city. Like, he could really quite easily just go door to door and figure it out, but he has not really done too much. So no, but on the other hand, do I think he should be recalled? Of course not, because I really enjoy the fact that he is very inept, and if anybody else, literally anybody else, steps into that role, they will probably catch me. So I would prefer if we just kept Bud Nichols right where he is. He's doing a wonderful job in that he's doing a terrible job.
I don't think I realized maybe how easy it's been for you.
I mean, but in his defense, geographically, we live in a very unique place as well. And there are very few whale killings other places in Florida.
But you're talking specifically about the mayor's murder. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, but I mean, that was me. I just want to bring that around. A lot of people are saying, it's because of those whales. Well, no, he was gotten rid of by the whales, but that was Hot Sauce Man. Guess who?
Well, I'll be honest, Hot Sauce Man, it really doesn't seem like your MO. That mayor was, if I remember correctly, shot 3 times. You've never used a gun in any of your murders that I'm aware of. Are you just trying to claim an additional murder just for the glory of it?
No. Just because it happened to be a very high-profile murder and something done very, very well. I feel like I just sat here and explained to you all of my drawings. Clearly, I have an artistic soul. So, as an artist, you grow and you change. You try new things. And, who knows? Maybe Hot Sauce Man could well, that was the name of my gun. It could be the Hot Sauce Gun. And that could be a whole new form of, and then merchandising. Now I'm selling hot sauce, or I'm selling hot sauce guns. There's a whole world out there that you got to experiment with. I mean, Jack the Ripper, originally, it was talking about farts. He would just go around and he would fart a lot and be like, what is that? And he's like, it's Jack the Ripper. And then he was like, oh, maybe I should try killing prostitutes. And so, things evolve and change. And so I'm the same way.
I'd never heard that, but I'm not a student of history. So let's stick to you and maybe stay away from whatever murders you have committed and murders that you're trying to claim. But
I committed it. I did. I killed the man.
Well, we'll see. Time will tell. So let's talk a little bit about the parade. Initially, you had threatened the parade. There were still some instances at the parade that I think people would have liked to avoid, but none of them were tied to you in any way. What was your plan there? How did that plan change? I know you reached out to Tiffany Bunzel somehow and organized a date in exchange to keep the parade safe. Is that right?
It is. Although, can I level with you? I feel pretty bad about this, and I just need to clear the air. I said a lot of stuff about the parade, but I'm going to be honest. I was never going to do anything with the parade to begin with. I really wasn't. My heart wasn't in it. The Matassa ennui. I don't know about you, but I'm getting kind of depressed. Like, it's really kind of put a horseshoe in quite a few different things. So I have made a lot of claims, and I said, well, I thought maybe I can get a date out of this. Hey, if Tiffany goes out with me, then I won't do anything with the parade. Everybody wins. Right. And Tiffany was a sport, and really, she agreed, which I did not expect. I thought I was going to have to kill somebody. But, no, as it turns out, I was able to go on a nice, good old-fashioned date with her.
I understand that Tiffany couldn't eat for some reason. I think she was talking about something about a bag.
Oh, yes. Yeah, she had a bag on her head the entire time. Yeah, no, it's, of course, for anonymity and everything else, I had her meet me in a deserted parking lot with a bag already on her head. And it was very nice. She provided her own bag. It was, I have to say, it was reusable as well. So right away, I thought, well, there's a girl who really cares about the environment. You don't see that much in Fakahatchee. She hadn't bound herself, so I pulled up and was like, oh, hi, Tiffany. Oh, hi, hot sauce man. Please don't kill me. All right. And then I bound her hands and put her in the back of the van and took her to the house and made dinner. We had some tacos. And
I understand that she couldn't eat the tacos, though, because of the bag.
Because of the bag. Yeah. No, the bag certainly turned out to be a real impediment. And in retrospect, I should have gone blindfold instead of full bag. But at that point, we were already, in the middle of the date. And I would have felt very silly if I was trying to backpedal, like, oh, can you put a blindfold on and then take the bag off? And so at that point, I tried just shoving some of the taco through the bag. But that really didn't end up working very well. And also, there's boundaries on a first date. You don't want to get too close. You don't want to come off as a weirdo. So I just decided, I kind of explained to her how I made the tacos. And they were homemade. They were homemade tacos. So I wanted her to know that, I did I really wanted to be a gentleman. And then when we were finished, we talked a little, and it got emotional. She cried pretty much the whole time, but and I feel like we talked as well. And then I dropped her off in a 7-Eleven alley, and I'm sure it sounds like she made her way home, right? She's okay.
Yeah, she was okay. She was there broadcasting from the parade with us.
Okay, and I'm sure she probably mentioned quite a bit to you and others about the date.
Quite a bit. I don't know. She mostly talked about how she couldn't eat the tacos, and that kind of seemed short-sighted. Like you didn't have a clear plan in place. So I don't know. Did you feel like there's some future there, or?
Well, did she? I feel like I'm quite a jokester, as you know. And I feel like I probably got one or two zingers in there. She may have kind of explained to you, right? Something like that.
Zingers in what way? She mentioned it sounded like you were trying to do some physical comedy, but she obviously couldn't see anything.
Oh yeah. No, I did the kind of a banana peel thing. There was a bit with a rake. But I thought who's not a Gallagher fan? So I smashed some fruits that I happen to have around, and I guess maybe it just didn't translate. It's fine. I don't see anything happening with Tiffany anyway, because she's not the kind of girl who you want to come home to and, unlock the basement and say, hi, honey, I'm home. I guess she's fine. She's a nice girl. I wish the best for her. But, in talking to her, she has a pretty serious gambling problem. So it's probably best if I just look at her from afar through binoculars.
Well, it seems a shame that there wasn't more of a love connection there.
You know what? Come say, come saw. You know, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You know, that's what my mom used to say. And
can you explain how that applies here?
Well, she was actually talking about real toothpaste, you know, because I would squeeze it out all over the mirror, you know, with my art. And then she would say, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. And I thought, well, that's a metaphor for life, I feel, you know. And so Tiffany's the toothpaste, you know, and my love is the tube. And it's just, I put my love all over her and spread it around. But, you know, it just that's it. It's out there. And so you can't bring that back.
A little sad to hear it.
Well, gosh, I tell you what, why don't we talk about your love life? Are you seeing anybody right now?
No.
Can you cook?
I can cook. I'm an excellent cook.
Oh, listen to the big man.
Not to brag, but I am an excellent cook. But I don't really get much time to date here. I'm mostly here, you know, nights and a lot of morning coffee dates, but real hard to transition from that into something more serious.
Well, okay. Well, so then it sounds like, I mean, I've done better with Tiffany than you have with anybody else.
Yeah, I wasn't judging. I was just saying it seems a little sad. You know, everyone likes to see a perfect match come together and make a romantic connection. And you know, I'm sad that that didn't happen for you.
Well, maybe, you know, and you never know what's going to happen. You never know. So maybe Tiffany one night decides she wants to share a bottle of Scud with me or something like that. And, you know, and I'm open to it. I'm open to it. But, you know, she just it may be too late at that point. Who knows?
Right. Probably got to get over here to another call. But do you have anything coming up in the future that we should look out for or beware?
I do want to give, if I can give a chilling kind of threat to both the Dust Kings and the T-Ball Walkers, who got into a pretty horrific fight during the parade. As you know, they were responsible for the death of Dan Brown, the famous author.
Grisly. Terrible watching somebody be crushed to death by a glass pyramid.
Yeah, and I mean, we've all had friends who've died that way, but it's just to hear about that, and for someone so young and vibrant and just talented. I mean, he was a man barely in his 60s, so you just, like they say, it's just a candle in the wind. But yes, no, I 100% plan on killing most of the Dust Kings and T-Ball Walkers as a result of Dan Brown's death. But other than that, I mean, I'm kind of open right now. I'm just, I'm here just playing the field.
Can I ask you if you had to decide between the Dust Kings or the T-Ball Walkers, who do you think Hot Sauce Man identifies with more?
Ooh, good question. This is why your show's been on the air for so long. I'm gonna have to go with I'm guessing the Dust Kings. The T-Ball Walkers are just a general nuisance. Both of them are a general nuisance, but the T-Ball Walkers are just so damn slow. You got things you want to accomplish during the day, but you get behind one of those guys when you're walking, or you're behind your squad car or something like that, and you're just like, oh boy, look at these guys go. So yeah, I would have to say Dust Kings. You're probably further down the list than the T-Ball Walkers.
Interesting thoughts from. I don't know if you're in their headspace exactly, but it's always interesting to see what you think and get your perspective on the day's events.
Well, let's reelect Bud Nichols. Let's go, Bud, for another 4 years. Let's do that, because I do not want to get caught anytime soon, and there's no way that man will catch me. So, yay, Bud.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in, Hot Sauce Man. Always exciting to hear about your misadventures. And okay. Yeah. It looks like my producer is signaling me that's all the time we have together this evening. As always, thank you for sharing your opinions with me. A surprising amount of you want to keep our current sheriff. I can understand it. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. I also think it'll probably be our downfall and we'll all come to regret it. But I'm not going to get prickly about it, though I do reserve the right to say I told you so down the line. Good Morning Sunbuns with Tiffany Bunzell takes over at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, Tiffany's got a fantastic show. Tiffany's assembled a panel of experts to answer the age-old question, how old is too old to be wearing pool floaties? The stunt coordinator for Beef Kickers will show Tiffany some new moves, and we'll meet an oak tree that watched its father die. Again, that's all coming up tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. on Good Morning Sunbuns. If you enjoyed the show, please rate or review the show wherever you happen to catch it floating over the airwaves. It's a great way to let other listeners find the show and know it's worth checking out. Though he who dies with the most podcast stars still dies. I read that on a No Fear t-shirt. But nothing beats telling a friend about the show by spending way too much on skywriting, only to have some of the letters blow away before they can read it as knit dry, and you demanding your money back from a pilot in a biplane with an extra long scarf. You can reach the show on Twitter at NightDriveFM, on Instagram at NightDriveFM Insta, or on Reddit at r/NightDriveFM. And there's always an open invitation to join the Discord. It's full of great folks from around the world. We're always talking about something in there, and to be honest, it's rarely about Night Drive, and almost always something to laugh about. To join the Discord, just reach out for an invite, and we'd love to have you in there. Want that Night Drive look? NightDriveMerch.com will take you to storefronts where you can get shirts and stickers and the Season 1 Night Drive poster, which you will definitely want to frame and then pull on a mask and sneak into the Louvre where it can be hung alongside the real art. Night Drive is produced by Michael Truly and is hosted by a man who thinks if chess is singular, then its plural must be cheese. Goose, geese, chess, cheese. Horace Wexler. The callers gave it the new 1-2, which I'm told is superior to the old 1-2, though some people think they don't make it like they used to. Eric Toms, Clint Gage, Casey Redmon, and Sean Bury. I'd also like to thank our lightning caller, Nathan Greenaway. And a very special thank you to our musical guest, OG Dratchmaster, for providing the rhymes. My man, they were absolutely fresh, beautifully plated, and garnished. So it's 5 o'clock, and until Tiffany takes over at 5 o'clock, here's 4.5 hours of government-mandated buzzing. Until next time, I'm Horace Wexler. Keep night driving.